Hey, you, and welcome back to another episode of the Western Hippie Podcast. I'm your host, Michaela, here with my corgis, Tank and Willie. And today is just going to be a short episode because I've wanted to let you know which direction the show is going. The problem I keep coming up against is I have some answers that are very clear of where the show is going. And I have other answers that are not as clear as to where the show is going. And one of the things that I have been working through is to not expecting everything to be perfect, to allowing myself to move forward with the bits of information that I do have. So I'm going to tell you what I have that I'm clear on, and also what I don't have that you and I are going to be figuring out together very much in real time. So, what I do have is I am niching this podcast down. So, one thing that I have been on and working through is what do I want out of my life in the next 5 to 10 years? And when I think about the Western Hippie, I want the Western Hippie to become more of a similar brand to Nike, for lack of a better term. Like Nike keeps coming to mind, where Phil Knight himself is not the face of the brand. He was the face like behind and building up the brand, but the swoosh is more of the face of the brand. And I want the Western Hippie to be similar in the way where the Western Hippie itself is the face of the brand and I'm the person behind the scenes, like building the brand. And I also want to have a personal brand where I am more the face of the brand. So it became very clear that there did need to be some separation between the two, where I can have the Western Hippie podcast because I want the Western Hippie itself to become a index, a resource where you can come to the Western Hippie and you will find holistic healing protocols. It's very intentional, very specific, very masterclass. Like, I want every episode on the Western Hippie to feel like a masterclass where you're just getting a depth and a wealth of knowledge on these different healing protocols. However, it is also very important for me as a person, as a personal brand, to have my randomness, to have my sporadic. And that's where I wanted my personal brand to come in. So I decided to launch a second podcast that was more of a personal brand, and I have launched it. It is out in the world, and it is called the Miss Michaela Mae Show. So all my randomness, all my like random little things will be over on the Miss Michaela Mae Show, where the Western Hippie, again, the goal is to turn into a resource and a guide where if you're having a issue with a very specific ailment, you can come to the Western Hippie and there's going to be a masterclass of a podcast waiting for you about how to heal and address that specific ailment. Now, that is what I'm clear on. So we have the Miss Michaela Mae Show, which is now the personal brand, and we're going to have the Western Hippie, which is more niche down and just sticking to holistic healing protocols. What is not quite clear yet, what I'm still working through, is whether those holistic healing protocols will just be for dogs and horses and only humans as it pertains to the animals. So if you have not listened to the episode about your dog being your mirror, that would be an example of an episode where I am talking about how to heal yourself because it will heal your animals, and even the correlation and the relation to that. That will stay on the podcast no matter what. I am very clear on that. The part that I am not clear on is whether I will have episodes just about humans that don't relate to animals. So, for example, most of you know I experienced childhood sexual abuse as a kid. So, like, I don't know if when I talk about healing from sexual abuse, I don't know if that is going to be on the Western Hippie or if it will be on the Miss Michaela Mae Show. I have not decided. And so, as of right now, my plan is to cross post those episodes, and either eventually I will continue to cross post those episodes, meaning it will be on the Miss Michaela Mae Show as well as the Western Hippie podcast, or if I will end up just posting it to one or the other. I don't know yet. My commitment to myself, because this was a quote that I heard that has been really helpful to me, is just take the first step. So if you have clarity on step one, just take it and clarity will come. And the most interesting thing is I actually got to try that in real time with the Miss Michaela Mae Show, because the goal that I had for myself was to record and launch that podcast in less than a day. My goal was the full day if I needed to. I ended up getting it recorded in less than 5 hours. Now, those episodes are a lot shorter than what will be on the Western Hippie. They won't be hour-long masterclasses. They're just like 5, 10, 15, 20-minute episodes of whatever thought is on my mind. So yes, they're a little bit shorter, but it was also cool to see, like, can I get this thing recorded and launched within a day? So that was a lot of fun. And I had, when I started recording that day, I had clarity on episodes 1 through 3. And my goal was to get 5 episodes recorded that day. So I was clear on 1, clear on 2, clear on 3, not clear on 4, not clear on 5. So I've got a rough outline scripted in my journal, and I'm sitting there just staring at a blank space next to 4. And I thought, why don't you just start recording and the clarity will come? And the cool thing was, by the time I got to the second episode, I was like, oh, let's do this for episode 4. Let's do this for episode 5. So the clarity did come. So that is the cool thing. I heard that principle from a different podcast and thought, you know what, let me test it out. I did test it out. It worked. And so I just thought that I would share with you. We together are going to be testing that in real time. I don't have full clarity on, that human healing piece, if you will. And actually, if you have a preference, if you don't mind leaving a review and telling me if you have a preference, or sending an email to Michaela at masterclasses.com. If it's important to me. I mean, this show wouldn't be possible without you and me together. So it is important for me to hear your feedback and to hear what you want. So if you feel so called to share that, or comment, if you're listening to this on YouTube, that would be very helpful for me on this clarity piece. And I would greatly appreciate that. So I just wanted to put this episode out there because it's been a minute since I have posted a new episode to the Western Hippie Podcast. So I wanted to give you an update behind the scenes, what's been going on. That is what's been going on. The short version of the story is I've really been thinking about, what do I want in the next 5 to 10 years of my life, and getting really clear on that. And in getting very clear on that, realizing, okay, I actually want to niche the Western Hippie down so it becomes this standalone brand. I want to section off and have this Michaela Mae be this brand, and have this be my own brand as a personal brand. And so that's what I've been working on. That's what I've been clarifying. And then I've told you what it's not so clear to me. So I'm going to release this episode, and behind the scenes, what I'm working on is what would be the most helpful masterclasses to get up and going. So there is a masterclass on natural treatments for arthritis for dogs. I'm going to be doing a liver one for dogs. I am currently working on a Cushing's one for horses. So also, if you have a very specific ailment that your dog or your horse has that you would love to see a masterclass on, again, you can leave a review telling me what kind of masterclass you would want to see. Or 2, you can email me, Michaela at masterclasses.com. And you can let me know, hey, my animal is experiencing this. Will you please make a masterclass on how I can heal my animal of this thing, because my animal's hurting and I would like to see them healed. So that is what is next for the Western Hippie Podcast. Thank you so much for your patience in tuning in. This, like I said, is a very short and sweet episode because it's just an update of where the Western Hippie is going. So we are going to close out for today. Thank you for being here. And I am so excited to see you for the next masterclass from the Western Hippie.